In the Porch by Lucy Daniels. Prince, the little Welsh pony, nibbled gently at Mandy's fingers as she fed him the last of the carrots she had brought for him from Animal Ark. Jane, Prince's owner, had left the village and gone to live in York to train to be a nurse. Her mother, Mrs. Jackson, was feeling sad, for she had to find a new home for the much-loved pony. Mandy looked round the little orchard at the back of Rose Cottage, where she lived with her mum and dad, who were vets. Prince's stable was a simple lean-to in a sheltered corner of the orchard. It smelled of sweet grass, and the air blew fresh and clean under the trees.
He couldn't find a better home than this.
Oh, well, what has to be done, I suppose.
I'm sure you'll find a good home for him, Mrs. Jackson.
I won't be sending Prince anywhere they can't keep him properly. When I think of all the rosettes he's won at the Welford show, he's a grand little jumper. Nearly as good as that pony of young Barry Prescott's.
Oh, but Barry's pony's star is bigger than Prince.
I don't suppose you would want a pony now, would you, Mandy?
I've got an ark full of animals. Mum says if we had any more we would sink. But I will miss him, won't I, boy?
A voice called from 2 gardens away. It was Mandy's Gran. Mandy had gone round to say goodbye to Gran and Grandad, who were going off for 2 weeks in Portugal and had popped in to see Prince on the way. Mandy gave Prince a final pat, said goodbye to Mrs. Jackson, and went along to Lilac Cottage. She gave Gran a big hug and chivied Grandad out of his garden where he had been tending his prize leeks. Mandy laughed as her dad bundled his parents into the car and set off for the airport, waved goodbye, then got on her bike to go home. She had a few things to do at home, like pay a visit to a puppy that had been abandoned with a broken leg. Betty Hiddler, who ran the local animal sanctuary, had brought him in, and Mandy had named him Toby. There was a new girl in Mandy's class. She stood beside the form teacher, Miss Potter. She didn't look very cheerful. Miss Potter told the class that the new girl was Susan Collins from London, and that living in the country would be a big change for her, but she was sure everyone would help her, especially Mandy. As Susan sat down beside her, Mandy smiled.
You'll soon get used to it. It must be hard coming to a new school.
I don't want to get used to it. I want to go back to London. It was much better than this.
Wait and see. You'll like it when you get to know everybody.
I won't. I hate it. There's nothing to do.
There's always loads to do in the country. You'd be surprised.
Like what?
Well, we've got the Welford show on Saturday. That's terrific. There are side shows and pet shows and a gymkhana and...
Gymkhana? Well...
You see, you'll like living here.
I won't. And you won't make me. Not you or anybody else.
Shh! Miss Potter's starting.
By 3:30 that day, Mandy had decided that Susan Collins was a complete pain. She had boasted about the house she lived in, the Beeches, the big new house on the Welford Road, complete with stables and a paddock. Trying hard to be friendly, Mandy had said that must be terrific, only to be told that it was much better than living in a poky little cottage. Fancy living in an ark. Susan decided she would call Mandy Mrs. Noah. Then it had been her computer and all the things it could do. And no, Mandy had not got a computer, but at least...